They say pumpkins are harmless, carved for fun, lit with candles, smiling at trick-or-treaters. But some pumpkins aren't decorations. Some are warnings, and sometimes they're alive. Tonight, I'll tell you 3 terrifying pumpkin horror stories, each more disturbing than the last. By the end, you might never look at a jack-o'-lantern the same way again. Story 1. The pumpkin patch that watched me. Last October, my cousin invited me to help at her small-town pumpkin farm. The place was picture perfect. Rows of orange pumpkins glowing in the autumn sun. Kids running between the vines, leaves crunching underfoot. On my second night there, I had to lock up after a fall festival. I was alone, walking past the pumpkin patch under the moonlight, when I noticed something strange. The carved pumpkins, the jack-o'-lantern's pumpkins, lanterns we'd put out for decoration, were all turned toward me. I thought maybe the wind had shifted them, but as I walked, their faces seemed to follow me. Wide grins, jagged teeth, and triangle eyes fixed in my direction. Then I heard it, a soft, scraping sound, like something dragging over dirt. I froze. The nearest jack-o'-lantern was inches closer than before. I backed away slowly until one of them blinked. The light inside it flared bright, and from the vines came a low, wet growl. That's when I ran, but I swear, the sound of scraping followed me all the way to the farmhouse door. The next morning, half the pumpkins were gone. No footprints, just deep grooves in the dirt leading into the woods. Story 2. The Rotten One. When I was a kid, my dad took me to the county fair every fall. One year, I found a strange black-streaked pumpkin at a small produce stall. It smelled faintly sweet, almost like overripe fruit. The old man running the stall gave it to me for free. We took it home, and I carved it into a jack-o'-lantern, 2 big round eyes and a crooked smile. But by the next morning, the pumpkin wasn't where I'd left it. It was on my windowsill. I asked my dad if he moved it. He hadn't. That night, I put it back outside, this time on the porch. At 3:14 a.m., I woke to a soft thud. The pumpkin was on my bedroom floor. The smell of rot was stronger, like something dead. Its carved smile had widened, deeper and sharper than I'd made it. By the 3rd night, I woke to find it on my bed. The inside of its mouth was wet. There was something inside. Seeds, pulp, and something that looked like small, gray teeth. We burned it in the fire pit. The flames hissed and turned green. But as the pumpkin crumbled to ash, I swear I heard it laughing. Story 3. The Harvest Man. Every year, my grandmother told me not to go into the pumpkin field after midnight on Halloween. She said the Harvest Man would be there, looking for faces to wear. When I turned 18, I thought it was just an old superstition. I snuck out, flashlight in hand, to the pumpkin field behind her house. It was silent, too silent. No wind, no crickets. The air felt heavy, like before a storm. In the center of the field stood the largest pumpkin I'd ever seen, taller than me, its skin pale orange, covered in deep scars. My flashlight flickered, and that's when I saw movement. Something stood up from behind the pumpkin. It was a man, or at least shaped like one. His head was a hollow pumpkin, carved with jagged eyes and a wide, toothy grin. Inside, a candle burned with an unnatural blue flame. His body was made of twisted vines and dried stalks. He moved slowly, each step creaking and snapping like old wood. He spoke without opening his mouth. your face will do nicely. Vines erupted from the soil, wrapping around my legs, pulling me toward him. The pumpkin head tilted, and I realized the scars on its skin were human fingernail marks. I fought, clawed, and broke free, running until my lungs burned. When I looked back, the field was empty. But the next morning, my grandmother found a new pumpkin sitting on the porch. It had my face carved into it. Pumpkins are supposed to be harmless, but sometimes they're more than just vegetables. Sometimes they're masks. Sometimes they're mouths. And sometimes they're waiting for you. So next Halloween, if you see a pumpkin smiling at you, don't smile back. If these stories sent chills down your spine, like this video, share it with a friend. And subscribe to Panic Peak Productions for more true horror stories every week. And remember, you never know what's watching you from behind the candlelight.